Good morning, breathers. Top of the morning to you. Reclaim your breath. Reclaim your health. It's the most overlooked thing we do in life. Our nose is one of the most overlooked organs. It's tied to our heart rate. It's tied to our respiration rate. It's tied to the gas exchange in our body. It's tied to the balance of our, acidity or alkaline in our blood, which um, affects all of our biological functions, all our metabolic functions. So, as I like to say, um, we breathe about 25,000 times a day. We have 25 trillion red blood cells in our body. Each one of those blood cells has 270 million hemoglobin molecules. And in each one of those hemoglobin molecules is 4 oxygen molecules. So within that 60,000 miles of blood vessels, we have a lot of oxygen. But why do we get breathless? Why do we feel short of breath? Why do our fingers get cold and our toes get cold? It's because the oxygen isn't reaching the organs and the muscles and bones and tendons and our brains, because we are over breathing. That's funny. When we overbreathe, like for example, when we breathe through our mouth, we're breathing out carbon dioxide. We want to breathe through the nose. The nose produces, the nasal passages produce nitric oxide, which is a vasodilator, antibacterial, antiviral. When we breathe slow through the nose and with the diaphragm, we are able to tolerate more carbon dioxide. You know, when people have anxiety problems, which also there's an epidemic of that as well, partially caused by our addiction to, YouTube or our handheld devices. We're never without it. um, so, but what they used to do, and I don't know if they still do, but you can take a paper bag, hold it over your mouth and nose, and breathe into it. And what you're doing is you're breathing in more carbon dioxide. And what that does, it expands. It's a vasodilator. It helps expand all 60,000 miles of your blood vessels. And what it also does, according to Christian Bohr, he was a biochemist. It was in 1904, I think in Sweden. He discovered that in the presence of carbon dioxide, oxygen molecules are more easily released from the hemoglobin. So it's easier to get released from the bloodstream into the working organism, into the working body. So what we want to do is help our, the birds seem to know when I'm doing a video, they like to be on it. We want to help release the oxygen from the hemoglobin. So we have more oxygenation. So we lessen our sensitivity to carbon dioxide. So we raise the thermostat, or raise or lower it. We want to be less sensitive to carbon dioxide. We want to tolerate it more. And that's one of the reasons people go to do high altitude training, because it's hypoxic. It's hypocapnic, which is high amount of carbon dioxide, and it's hypoxic, a low amount of oxygen. So what that does is our bodies adapt and adjust to that. So I have a program. You guys can just watch these videos and practice it, but I have a program. It's called 25 Days to Optimal Health. It's a dedicated 5-week program where you watch a video and you talk to me once a week, and you practice Monday through Friday. Take 5 minutes and do some breath work, nasal breath work. It's trying to train you to breathe only through your nose. At sleep, during, of course, when you're talking, it's hard to breathe through your nose. You probably saw me go. When you sleep, when you work out, when your daily work, just to be mindful and breathe through your nose. So you breathe, you take 5 minutes and do some kind of nasal breath. And we can talk about it too. There's many techniques, but you do that 5 times a day, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week for 5 weeks. That's my 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. And it's $555.50. And you get this little workbook where you keep track of it. But the benefit is to work with someone who can answer your questions or help guide you, because this is lifetime health. You're going to balance out your blood pressure. You're going to lower blood pressure. If you're on blood pressure medication, you will have to go and visit your doctor after week 1, or maybe even tell your doctor you're trying this to see what he suggests. So your breath is your best friend throughout your whole life. Inspiration, breathing in the spirit. The first thing you do when you're born is you take a breath. Your breath is with you. Do not ignore it. Most of us go through life just not even thinking about it. Of course, everybody knows how to breathe. Duh, we all breathe. But if we breathe consciously and strive and train ourselves to breathe through the nose, we will have lifetime health. So you're born, first thing you do is you breathe. And then all the way to whenever your time is that you expire, you exhale. The whole time that breath is with you. Your best friend is with you. You're going through a troubled time, don't worry about it. Do what you need to do, but focus on your breath and breathe nasally, diaphragmatically. After this 5-week dedicated time period, you will notice some huge benefits. I have nose unblocking techniques. This is from Patrick McEwen through his Oxygen Advantage. Once you unblock your nose and continue nasal breathing, your nose will stay unblocked. You will be able to have strong, open, functional airways. Your respiratory system is going to be highly functional. You will lose weight because oxygen burns fat. Oxygen helps metabolism in every aspect of your life. You will become more clear-headed. You will be able to perform at a higher level. Even if you're a high-level athlete now, you will be able to increase your performance because your breath will be more efficient. With every breath you take, it'll cost less energy because you're breathing functionally. You're not, it's an exaggeration, of course. You're breathing functionally. You're getting more oxygenation. When you're exercising, you do an intense exercise, you're going to probably breathe through your mouth a little bit. But as quick as you can, try to control that. Try to breathe through your nose. Breathe slow and feel your body relax into that energy. So I'm hitting on a lot of little topics, but you want to reclaim your breath and reclaim your health. It's your God-given right. Reclaim your breath, reclaim your health. It is your God-given right. But most of us, again, I mean, I don't think too many people are talking about this. I mean, it's kind of boring. Breath, we all breathe. Shut up. No, I'm not going to shut up. Because if we breathe correctly, it'll help us fall asleep. It'll help us wake up, oxygenate ourselves throughout the day. It'll bring us back, get us out of our mind. We're planning, we're running here, we're running there. We're never just inside our bodies. We're always thinking past, future. Most of the most of the thoughts are ruminated thoughts. They're dead thoughts. They're repetitious. It's a loop that's just going on. It's a conversation going on in our head. So if you've never done anything like this, it's going to be difficult at first because your mind is going to say, "Oh, I want to roam free. I want to do what I want to do," because that's what our mind does. It's always thinking. So let's just take our mind, put it into our diaphragm, our tension on our diaphragm, and feel the breath, the slightly cooler air coming in through the nose, the slightly warmer air going out. There's many exercises. Did you know that when you breathe only through your nose, like runners should breathe through their nose, you retain 42% more moisture? You can see that when you open your mouth on a glass or breathe on a piece of metal. See all the moisture, the fog. A certain amount of that will happen through the nose if you put something under your nose. But when you become a functional breather, you breathe softer and you retain more moisture. I'll touch on one other thing. EPO, erythropoietin. It's a banned substance for the Tour de France. They test for that. I don't know if you can get it over the counter or if you need a prescription. EPO is produced in your kidneys, and it's a hormone that helps protect the health of red blood cells. It also signals your bone marrow to produce more red blood cells. And you can activate your natural EPO through breath holds and slow nasal diaphragmatic breathing. So we do breath holds to accentuate the carbon dioxide level in our body. Take a breath in, take a breath out, and hold it. You can do this. You can walk, see how many steps you can get. Or if you're around people and you don't want to look silly, you can just hold it. But it's more effective. You're more aware of it when you're blocking your nose. And in this program, if you can get what we call a BOLT score, blood oxygen level test, and this is something I teach you how to do. You take a breath in, normal breath out, hold your nose, and you time it. And it's not a competition. You have to learn how to do it because you have to learn to listen to your body. But if you're doing it right, you will know when your body starts, your muscles start involuntarily making you breathe because the brain is saying, breathe. So your diaphragm, even sometimes your throat muscle will twitch a little bit. So that's the end of it. So if it's 20 seconds, that means you can practice throughout the day, minimum 5 times a day. 10-second breath holds, which would be breath in, breath out. Hold it for 10 seconds. Do that throughout the day, and it'll increase. What we're trying to reach is a 40-second, relatively consistent BOLT score. Not as a competition, but as a natural, because you can hold your breath for most people, but it's a struggle. through this breath retraining program, this breath reclamation and health reclamation, if you can get a 40-second Bolt score on average for 6 months, you are going to be almost bulletproof for colds and flus, because your respiratory system is going to be highly functional, and you will also have trained yourself to breathe only through your nose. Your nose has turbinates in it. You probably didn't know that unless you've listened to me. Little conical devices, little 3 bones on each side. It swirls the air in and rustles it around, and that way it's pressurized to go deep into the lung. When you breathe through your mouth, you don't have that. You breathe through your mouth, you don't get the carbon dioxide, you do not get the nitric oxide, and you have no protection for your lungs, which have a square foot of about tennis court space if you opened up all your lungs and all your alveoli. So breathe through your nose. Hit me up. See if, how much do you pay in medications? How much do you suffer from colds? How much do you suffer from anxiety? How much you suffer from high blood pressure, which causes a cascade effect of ill health? $550.50 is not too much. It just takes 5 weeks, but you do have to work with me, because that's the main benefit. You do get a little work booklet, which there's a little quote, there's a little video you watch each week. But you get a work booklet to check off each day. This I did it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Okay. And you take Saturday and Sunday off, but you still have to breathe. That's my standard joke. Sorry. The breath is your friend. It's your pathway to life. The scripture says the Lord God formed Adam out of the dust of the earth, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So it is with every conscious breath. We are still breathing, inspirating the breath of life, and it's connecting us to all life. Life knows how to heal you. You don't know how you grew a body. You don't know how that acorn turned into an oak tree. Life does. Life did that. You didn't do it. You didn't make your body the way it was when out of 1 cell into 2 cells and multiplying. You didn't do that. None of us did. Life knows how to do that. Breath is life. Life is breath. Let the life live you. Let the breath breathe you. Hit me up. I want to help you guys. Even you high-level athletes. I watch people and they're still breathing through their mouth. If you breathe through your nose has become more functional. You'll be almost proof against colds and flus without medical or pharmaceutical intervention. I know that's unheard of. Anyway, guys, shut your mouth and save your life. True story. Coach Couch out.